With each day I am more certain I'll do better than my best. Hey everyone, hi, welcome or welcome back. So I have a bunch of little things to update you on. I want to talk about my no buy. I have committed to not buying any books, clothing, or books, clothing, or makeup this year. And I want to talk about it with you. I have books that I kind of want to unhaul. That's connected to the no buy. I have books that I have acquired. A couple of people have gifted me books. I want to show them to you, including the last book that I purchased in 2024. Like I panic bought a book, right? Like after Christmas. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a no buy, so I didn't buy anything else. And yeah, it's been like a whole thing. And I have this book that I've been meaning to show you, but haven't yet. And I have just a ton of little things that I need to do around my house. And so let's hang out and I will show you some library books that I got. Maybe I can sort through my flippin' library books because I haven't done that. And I have library books here, there, and everywhere. We could talk about what I'm planning on reading next month. All of the things. So it's kind of like what Steve, my sweet friend Steve here on YouTube, Steve Donahue, says, a mega stuff video. I think his mega stuff videos are different. I just have a bunch of little things that I want to talk to you about, and not all of them fit in one video, and I haven't thought through everything I wanted to say. So I'm like, hang out with me. We'll talk. I hope this is good for those of you who just want to hang out. Oh my gosh. All right, so if you are new, then you just got the frenetic earful of the person that I am. You got an earful of the frenetic energy that I have. I think that's right. You just heard about me, and if you're enjoying the vibe, then subscribe. Without any further rambling on, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. Let's talk no buy first. So in terms of the no buy, it's gone really well. At some point, maybe even at the beginning or something, I'm not exactly sure, but I've been in declutter mode. Not viciously, but gently. I've been gently decluttering all of the categories: books, makeup, clothing. I don't know why it started when I started my no buy, but I've been very slowly getting rid of things I'm not using. I have this intense desire to pare down, to tighten up, to have the things that I own reflect what I actually like. And so that's been interesting. And in terms of what the no buy is supposed to do, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So it's funny because I don't over purchase in every category of everything. It's that I own probably way too many blushes for my cheeks in terms of makeup. That's what I enjoy purchasing, and it's the treat that I feel like is the juiciest, the most treatiest. And so it's the tastiest treat of all of the makeup. And so I have more blush than any two cheeks could hold. And in clothing, my thing is I really like to over purchase on dresses. So I have a overconsumption or a huge collection of dresses, but I actually don't have a lot of things that are utilitarian, or I have a very small collection of utilitarian items like undergarments. It's not that I don't have enough, I do, but it's not a juicy purchase for me. And so I'll tend to have very minimal pajamas, minimal undergarments, like a number of undergarments. And so that was interesting to me, that it's not every category that I overpurchase on, it's only certain categories. For books, I think I tend to over purchase on classics. I like to purchase the ideal version, the ideal reader. I like to purchase the reader that I wish I was all the time. And I don't purchase very many fun books, silly books, brain candy books. In terms of physical books, I don't purchase a lot of those. I purchase more of the serious books, the literary books, the classics, poetry collections, ancients, things like that. I will purchase those, but I won't tend to purchase the books that are like thriller. I have like hardly any thrillers. I have hardly any mysteries. I own one romance book, like true romance book. So it's really interesting that I tend to go towards books that I do like, but books that I don't know, that maybe the books that have longevity in my TBR, like in the desirable TBR, like they'll hold that place of desire in my TBR. Rather than, a thriller book, I feel like I'll want to read it and then it will wane. So maybe I'm a smart book purchaser because a lot of the books on my shelves I want to read for a long time. Okay, so I will admit something to you. I did make a utilitarian purchase of undergarments. Was it a need? In one area, it was a need, for sure. And in the other area, it was a replacement. I got rid of certain things and it needed to be replaced. So I did make an undergarments purchase. It's been interesting. And so in terms of, I keep on thinking, what do I want to do for next year? And how do I want to set it up so that I don't go back to just buying willy-nilly? And this is what I thought, and I'm liking it so far. In terms of books, I think maybe I should only purchase the amount of books that I read the previous year from my shelves. So right now I have read, I think 10 or 11 books that were off my physical shelves. And I'm keeping them in a pile so that I can show you. I'll even show you. I'm keeping them in a pile and I keep thinking, these are the books that I've read from my shelves. And so since I've read 11 books from my shelves, then I can buy 11 books next year. And so it's a kind of a motivating thing, but it's also, it will be a fixed number at the beginning of the year. And I think that's more helpful for me. It's more concrete for me than to start the year saying I can only purchase as many books as I read. So thus I'm sort of scrambling to get the number up so I can purchase, and that it's always like a plus and minus. Then I only have to keep track of what I purchase and keep it under the books that I've read from my shelves the previous year. I hope that makes sense. But I thought that would be a very practical way of doing this. And yeah, it's been really good. I thought I would have missed it more, but I really don't. I'm really just enjoying not purchasing. And yeah, and it's been fine. I have so many library books to show you. Well, we'll talk about it. Hey, bud.
Hey, Mama. Stay alive, stay alive.
There you go. I have an absolute boatload of books from the library. I don't even know if these are all of them. They might be. I don't know if I'm going to read them, but this is what happens on my no-buy, is that if I'm interested in a book, I just put it on hold at the library, and then I see whether I want to read it or not. So I have That Woman, so I finished a book called The Duchess by Wendy Holden, which was a fictional book about Wallis Simpson, who was a twice divorcee who married into the British royal family, which is kind of bizarre. And anyways, what happened is that I was really interested in her actual life, and so I got That Woman and Wallace in Love. That Woman is by Anne Seba, and Wallace in Love, The Untold Life of the Duchess of Windsor, The Woman Who Changed the Monarchy, is by Andrew Morton. But I don't know if I want to read either of these right now. Is that better? I think that's better. Okay. I also read the first Maisie Dobbs books by Jacqueline Winspear. I read this with the book club that I'm in. So this was read. Let's see. I found out about this book entitled Unraveling Oliver by Liz Nugent, who is an Irish writer. And it sounded really good. So I just got it from the library. Again, it's the inside of the mind of a psychopath. See, I don't know. That sounds really good. So I have Unraveling Oliver. I ordered this a while ago. The Last One at the Wedding by Joseph Recula. And the thing is that I'm currently reading Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm really liking the thriller horror vibe of it. So I want to read another thriller horror vibed book. So I have these two to choose from. But also, I have something else. I can't think of it. I have that book. Oh, I have Gone Girl that I've been meaning to read. And so I might read that. One of Graham's books, an I Survived book. I have from my own shelves, Mrs. Jack. I had thought about reading this for her storyathon, ran by Charlotte and Brittany, who are amazing booktubers. I will leave them linked down below, but I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to get a chance to, because we're at the end of March and I didn't read hardly anything for her storyathon, which is focused on women in history. But this was a contender. This is about Isabella Stewart Gardner, who was just in love with art and has a museum named after her. I don't know much about her, but I heard that she is an incredibly interesting figure. This is more of Graham's books.
And this is another one of...
I started a different Stephen Graham Jones book, but I got out Night of the Mannequins. So I have this, but I haven't started it. I started Mapping the Interior, which I am liking, but I'm only a couple of pages in. I thought this book might be longlisted for the Women's Prize, and I do want to read it, but I'm not super motivated to read it, and it is Isola by Algira Goodman, who was actually longlisted for the Women's Prize in the past. A friend told me about this, so I got it out, but again, don't know if I'm going to read it, but it is the Central Park 5, and I think they definitely made a television adaptation of this. Oh, yeah, and it's, miscarriage of justice, but on April 20th, 1989, the body of a woman is discovered in Central Park, and her skull is so badly smashed that 80% of her blood has spilled onto the ground. Within days, 5 Black and Latino teenagers confessed to her assault and beating. In a city where urban crime is at a high and violence is frequent, the ensuing media frenzy and hysterical public reaction is extraordinary. All right, so yes, it's the stories of the young men that were convicted. Yes, baby cakes.
So this guy, is it Dad?
I have some books for Picture This. I'm going to say they're for Picture This. They also have been sitting for several weeks on the place on a shelf where I keep all my library books. I found out because of Jen Campbell. These books I found out from Jen Campbell, and it is Sato the Rabbit. Picture This is a picture book readathon that I'm definitely going to participate in because I'm hosting it, and so I have these picture books. The glare is awful. I also have a picture book based on Tove Jansson, which is called Tove and the Island of No Address. I think it might be based on Tove's summer book. And then I got some books that I like the illustrations. They're brand new. The Tove Jansson book is brand new. One second, baby. The Most Beautiful Sweater by Christina Sitjo Rubio. It's a translated book. I also liked Hyro, Winter, and Marshmallows. Another translated book. This is by Marnine Schneider. Just one more moment. No,
Okay.
1 sec. And then we have The Observologist, which is a bug book. It's a brand new book, and I was like, I liked the illustrations as well. I thought they were very sweet, very cute. So, Dee's going to show you something.
I'm smaller.
Oh, here. This is, who is this?
the dad.
This is the dad, and this is the son, and they're different, but they're similar. They're different.
both hands.
They're both hands.
And they both have these on the top.
I'm getting a lot of cleaning done, which is good. I'm just like, I feel like the lighting is weird right now. It's okay, and I'm kind of sweaty. You don't need to know that. So the last book I bought before my no-buy, it was in December of 2024, was Andrea Camarelli. This is The Revolution of the Moon, and it says, based on a true story, Camarelli's gripping and richly imagined novel tells the story of a woman whose courage and political vision is tested at every step by misogyny and reactionary conservatism. I bought it because I had this vision that this project that I was going to read Steve Donahue's best historical fiction books from the last 5 years, and this was number one for one of the last 5 years. I probably have finished that project now, but I didn't actually put it all into one video. Maybe I should. I don't know. And read this while I do it. I don't know, but I did buy this and I'm excited to read it. It's actually not super long and supposed to be, again, spectacular. I quite like the cover. My very sweet friend Dia gave me a birthday present, and in that she gave me insect reference, restored vintage illustrations, which is so exciting because I love bugs. I love to draw bugs, and this is it's colorful, it's vintage, it's the exact thing that I would love to use to recreate images, just using this as a study to get better at drawing, which I'm still doing. All of my drawings take a long time. They're very methodical in their own way, but it's such a beautiful book. And then my mom, so sweet, got me this Laura Ingalls Wilder Pioneer Girl, which is an annotated autobiography. So Laura Ingalls Wilder wrote the Little House on the Prairie series. She wrote her own autobiography, and then there are extensive notes about the time period of Laura Ingalls Wilder. So it's very exciting. I mean, there's just a lot in here. And her biography is in the middle, and then on the sides here are the notes. But very thoughtful gift, lots of beautiful artifacts, and a lot of notes. My mom did extensive research on the best thing to get for me in terms of which version of the autobiography she should get for me, and this one was rated the highest or something like that, or there was a lot of hullabaloo about how great this was. So that's really exciting. And then I know that Katie from Books and Things has she has a TBR, readathon. Reading down your TBR type of readathon. And I think I want to participate in that. And there's just 2 books that I really need to finish. And I think April might be a good month to do so. The first one is The Life She Wished to Live by Anne McCutcheon. This is about Marjorie Kinnan Rowlings. I've read half of it, and I just keep on pausing it for other things. Every time I get into it, I love what I'm reading. I just feel like I'm getting in my own way of finishing it, and the same is with this one, the Dorothy Dunnett book. I'm almost halfway through this, and I've been reading it for a while. It's been a little bit of an on and off journey, so I just need to prioritize those 2 reads, and I have spring break at the end of the month, and so I think that might be a good time to solidify, these reads, to get them under my belt, to finish them, so on and so forth. So that's it. Katie had some really wonderful prompts. Everything she does is so inspiring as a video creator, as someone on BookTube. The things that she's reading, she's lovely. And I wanted to participate in this way, 2 finished books that I started either at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year, and I just really need to focus and finish. So that, I believe, is it. So thank you, y'all, for hanging out with me, watching, being awesome. And yeah, I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.